We really want to express our love for homemaking today. If you can get a heart-mind connection before you cook, you're going to find
Thank you.
that your food tastes better. First, I like to light the kitchen candle, which signifies unity and harmony, beauty and love in my home. And so the whole time I'm cooking, I look at that candle and it's a light.
For me, it just symbolizes heat, and the heat symbolizes hot. And then when I'm cooking, I just feel hot. You know what I mean? So if Mama's feeling hot, the food's gonna be hot. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know, and that's why your home feels one way and my home feels another.
Different, yeah.
Really, and that's the beauty of each woman's home. Maybe we could just, maybe we could have just kind of a moment of silence where we sort of
Clean the house in a sense, here and here.
we're cleaning our interior selves. Amen. Okay, that was good, I think. The next thing that I think is really important is something so many women overlook. And it's the act of cleaning out the spiritual space of our kitchens. And if we can clean out the spiritual space, get rid of any source of evil that could tamper the food and make it taste bad. That's why your children, if you've wondered why your children won't eat your cooking, why they're picky, you've overlooked this. This is how we go about doing it, okay?
That feels better, doesn't it?
I feel better.
I can breathe more. Okay, so we're going to show you how to make some Annie's shells and real aged cheddar. And you know what? Cheddar doesn't care what age it is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, cheddar's just good with who it is. Cheddar can be like, I'm 10 years old, and nobody's like, ooh, you're so old, cheddar. Do you know what I mean? So I love the fact that Annie puts on the box aged cheddar. It just feels like you're, it's like a grandma, right? That just has so much knowledge and so much worldly experience.
Yeah, exactly. They're not saying, oh, young cheddar.
Right.
Oh, eat young cheddar, because only young cheddar's good. They're saying old cheddar is good too.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's organic. It's organic old cheddar. So my kids actually prefer the old cheddar to the young. Why don't we just go ahead and get this going, and maybe while the water is, boiling. Thank you. Then maybe we can start with the next course. What is more homey than pudding?
Not much.
Not much. And you may not, it may be one of those days you're rushing in from taking the kids to a sport. That really doesn't work.
It's going to explode.
We're now dying of gas poisoning.
I'm feeling a little lightheaded.
That candle, move the candle.
So now the water's boiling. Very carefully.
Yeah, pour it
very carefully.
Close to the pot.
Again, remove the packet.
Right.
Okay.
Rainforest. That's where I went right then, the rainforest.
Totally.
Like one of the sticks.
Yeah.
And then we're going to cook it for about 8 to 10 minutes.
8 to 10. Now that I can't eyeball. So what I do for that is I put a timer on. Because how many times have I just really messed that up?
Right.
So
and then you end up with the limp noodle, which we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is another thing that I do when I cook. Sometimes I just say thank you. Because you think, you might think it doesn't have a heart, it doesn't have a soul, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't be thankful. Thank you. Really, thank you.
Thank you for aiding us in the kitchen. Thank you.
Thank you for how you stir and whip it up. Thank you. I think that about did it. What do you think?
Thank you how
You have something else.
Thank you how you can beat the eggs but not beat me up and just make me feel whole. Thank you.
And now I have peace. Okay? And that's important. Be at peace when you're cooking. Stressful cooking puts stress into the food. And then you eat the food, and then you add more stress to your... Do you want your children, you want your baby eating stress? Is that what you want?
The thing about it is
Your husband,
we want
more stress?
We talk about world peace.
Yes.
Peace starts in the kitchen. Peace starts in the kitchen right here. This is where the peace starts.
So we're going to make some chocolate pudding, because what I think about chocolate pudding is that it's not only the milk group, right? Because you have to add milk into it. But it's also a vegetable because without the bean, you can't make the cocoa. And I also think it prepares them later for their coffee consumption. If you can get them used to high amounts of caffeine in food groups like chocolate, then one day they'll be able to sit and enjoy
3 cups of coffee at a time.
Maybe.
And not get the shakes, you know?
Right. You don't want the tremors.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
you really,
genius.
you should, and also they'll be able to have coffee well into the evening and be able to sleep. But you have to build up a tolerance, and it should start in childhood.
Also, if you're not used to cooking, the C on the box stands for cup. Stands for cup, not cute, like 1 cute or,
You think
or
of
1
things-
centimeter. It's 1 cup.
You know what? I like to use my KitchenAid mainly because I find that this is a time in the kitchen when I can multitask and I can get other things done, not just cooking things, but things that are good for my body. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my weights because you think, when will I have time to work out? Now is the answer to that. Now. So what I'm going to do is I've got my 8-pound barbells. I'm going to be biceps and squats. Biceps and squats. Biceps and squats. And now we're overhead. Overhead and down. And now we're lateral raises. This really hurts because it's heavy.
We're going to go ahead because the noodles are al dente. Ooh, look, I'm giving myself... Another great thing about cooking, look at this. I'm giving myself a facial...
Genius!
Hello! A facial as... Okay?
Let me look.
As I'm making.
You're glowing.
Did I get it?
Yeah, and you're glowing.
I had one here earlier. I always like to mix the milk with the powdered cheese. Holly's been so gracious to cut the cheese. So now I'm just going to mix the cheese with all the yum noodles. Looks so great. Can you see this?
Can you say dinner?
So now I've got the mac and cheese. And what I went ahead and did is
Yum.
I decorated it with, because I think presentation is a huge, huge part of a meal. And so I decorated it with Cheetos, because you can't get any cheesier than that, right?
Good point.
And what it does is they could dip it in there and eat it, and the crunch is fabulous.
I want to make sure my kids get enough dairy in their day. It's hard sometimes to get enough dairy in your kids during the day. I want their bones to be strong. So we've made the pudding, and then with the dairy in the mac and cheese. And then, just for a little extra crunch, in case this wasn't enough Cheetos, I wanted to make sure the bag was just open and ready for them to be able to, maybe they're still a little hungry after they finish that. And the other thing I've been really concerned about lately, I've been reading a lot of articles, is childhood obesity. And
True dat.
so that's why I think it's really important that that we give them, beverages that aren't going to make them overweight. And so a Diet Coke, I just snap that right open. They just drink it straight from the can. Now Charisse and I are going to sit down and have a delicious meal together.
Because that's what friends do.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you. I'm Charisse.
I'm Holly.
And this has been a wonderful episode of Cooking with Holly and Charisse.
Have a great day.
Bon appetit!